It all started when Emily noticed the subtle changes in her husband Daniel's behavior. At first, it was the little things. Coming home late from work, being less present at dinner, or the lingering silence that hung between them after a conversation that once would have flowed effortlessly. She tried to brush it off, telling herself it was just the stress of work or life, but the nagging feeling in her gut told her something wasn't quite right. It wasn't until she stumbled upon a message on his phone that her suspicions deepened. It was a text from someone named Lena. At first, Emily didn't know who Lena was, but the text sent chills down her spine. "I miss you. Can't wait for tonight," it read. Emily's heart sank, and her mind began to race. She confronted Daniel that evening, trying to remain calm, but the look on his face told her everything she needed to know. He didn't deny it. There had been someone else. For months, Daniel had been seeing Lena. She was someone from his work, someone he had become closer to as the days went by. The guilt in his eyes was almost unbearable as he admitted the truth. He apologized, begged for forgiveness, but the damage was done. Emily felt betrayed, lost, and shattered. Despite his promises to fix things, Emily's trust in him had been irreparably damaged. The love they once shared now felt like a distant memory. In the days that followed, Emily struggled to find clarity. She wondered if their entire relationship had been built on lies, if the years they had spent together were worth anything at all. In the midst of the heartbreak, Emily made a decision. She couldn't live with the constant reminder of what Daniel had done. She moved out of their home, seeking a space where she could heal. As time passed, she focused on herself, rediscovered her passions, and started to rebuild her life. Daniel, on the other hand, found himself lost without her. He had never fully realized what he stood to lose until she was gone. The affair with Lena had fizzled out, leaving him alone and regretful. He knew that no apology could undo the hurt he had caused, and Emily's absence was a reminder of the trust he had broken. Though the pain lingered for a long time, Emily eventually found peace. She had rebuilt herself, not just as Daniel's wife, but as an individual. The experience had taught her a painful but valuable lesson, that sometimes love isn't enough to save a relationship, and that self-worth comes from within, not from the validation of another person. As months went by, Emily continued her journey of healing. It wasn't easy. There were days when the weight of the betrayal would hit her like a tidal wave, and she would find herself crying in the quiet of her apartment. But she also had moments of strength. She joined a support group, made new friends, and found comfort in doing things she loved but had neglected over the years. Writing became her outlet, a way to process everything she had been through. She filled pages with her thoughts, her pain, and eventually her newfound sense of empowerment. Daniel, however, wasn't the man he once was. The days without Emily dragged on, and he found himself sinking deeper into regret. He reached out to her multiple times, trying to apologize, to explain, to beg for another chance. But Emily was resolute. She had heard his excuses before, and they no longer had the power to sway her. She had come to realize that she deserved more than hollow promises and a love that wasn't truly faithful. One evening, after several failed attempts at reaching out, Daniel showed up at Emily's apartment. He stood outside the door, holding a bouquet of flowers, his eyes red from crying. "Please, Emily," he said when she opened the door. "I can't live with myself knowing I hurt you this way. I know I made a terrible mistake, but I swear I'd do anything to make things right. Can we at least talk?" Emily looked at him for a long moment. His presence brought back memories of their life together, both the good and the bad. She could see the pain in his eyes, but it wasn't enough. She had already given him too many chances before, and every time he had failed her. "Daniel," she said softly, her voice steady but firm, "you don't get to come back into my life just because you're sorry now. I've learned that my happiness can't depend on someone else. You broke my trust, and I can't rebuild it for you. I need to let go, for me." The finality in her words echoed in the space between them. Daniel's face crumpled as he realized that the woman he had loved and betrayed was now beyond his reach. He had lost her, and no amount of pleading or regret could change that. Emily closed the door behind her heart heavy but her mind clear. She felt a sense of relief wash over her, knowing that she was taking control of her own life again. The next few months were filled with both struggle and growth, but eventually, she found herself at peace with the decision she had made. In time, Daniel moved on as well. He found a new job, a new routine, and though the scars of his past mistakes would never fully disappear, he had learned a painful but valuable lesson about the consequences of infidelity. As for Emily, she continued to thrive. She met new people, explored new places, and found love again, this time, with someone who valued and respected her in ways Daniel never had. It wasn't an easy road, but in the end, she learned that sometimes the hardest moments lead to the greatest growth. She had rediscovered herself, and in doing so, had found the strength to love again. This time, truly and completely as the years passed, Emily's life blossomed into something she could never have imagined during those early, painful days after the betrayal. Her relationship with Daniel, though still a part of her history, no longer held. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel.